On your website, you talk about profound visual exploration in your process. How do you outline your work in that process? Is it a step-by-step or just visual conceptualization as you move forward toward the first brushstroke?
I really enjoy the creative process because there are so many ways that one can accomplish it. I think when you are deciding to paint, draw, whatever it is, it could even be an architectural blueprint, right? There are so many things that you can do as a creative person. And I think that I take a lot of inspiration from my own dreams. I'm a big dreamer. I love to sleep. Everybody who knows me knows this. Yes. I absolutely need my 8 to 9 hours of sleep if I can. And I would say a large part of this is because I genuinely dream every night. It's very rare that I don't remember some capacity of my dreams the next day. And I think part of that also goes to just me being very accessible to meditation. I'm very open to it. I think that being able to sit with yourself and your life in stillness is really important. Learning how to tune into your body, whether that's through breath work, water, swimming, all of those things, that's important for me too. But to go back to your question about my process, so I take a lot of inspiration from my dreams and the intangible. I like concepts. So when I am approached with either an idea from a collector or I am starting a new collection or piece myself, I really like to go in on a concept. It's very rare that I will go into something just totally jumping in with absolutely no idea. I like to come in with an idea, a concept, or a feeling. Okay. When I do that, I take symbols and everything, and then from there, I just freehand it. That's when I open it up to mistakes and imperfections.
So is there a particular theme that you keep going back to in your evolution, either to interpret it differently or to understand why it continues to come up when you contemplate it?
This was something that I actually started to ask myself earlier this year, because this is my 5th full year of painting now, and I have a background in doing other creative, artistic ambitions, right? Those things. But for my painting, I realized that something that I kept going back to was relationships, which is what my new collection is about. So my previous collection had been more about the transformation of the self. So now I wanted to talk about more the connection, not with ourselves, but with other people, and to build upon it. And something that I realized was that our relationships are all interpretive. And it's about the meaning that we give them and what we choose to believe about them. Because you can very much feel something for somebody that you can't explain, which is why I go into a lot of these concepts in the pieces themselves. But I think that there is a greater part of reality where our relationships, we identify people, we choose them, and then we continue to build those relationships. And what we do with them is up to us and up to the other person, and it creates that third space where that creativity and opportunity can happen.
What in your background journey, the usual childhood, adolescence, education, adulthood, that life cycles get to experience, most informs your work when you are in the midst of creativity, especially when a block occurs? What part of yourself comes to the rescue the most?
This is an interesting question for me, because a lot of people, they see my life and they think perhaps that maybe I passed up on some of those traumatic childhood experiences, and I definitely did not. I have lived through a lot of very heavy experiences, especially as a young person. And I think that something that always got me through it was having a curiosity. That is something that always kept me going. One of my favorite things when I'm having a hard day is that I tell myself, let's just see what happens. And that has got me through a lot of very difficult experiences, because at the end of the day, when I was younger, I'd experience something difficult, I'd have a bad day, whatever it was, I would go to drawing. I would draw realism, faces and hands and things like that. And I think that by focusing on that curiosity of like, it could get better, it could change, I could have something good happen, it allowed me to get through those blocks, and I think I've just carried that naturally through my creative process.
Your book, Give Me Wings, Transform Your Circumstance into Your Calling, implies a vast transformation. With this book and your companion journal, Taking Flight, what are you inviting the readers to do, and how will you help them get there within those published thoughts?
I would say that my 2 books are an invitation for people to change their own life's interpretation. I think that a lot of life is subject to our own meanings that we give it through our own symbols, our own experiences. We're the one who decides, oh, that was something really bad and that changed me. That was something really good and I found meaning through that, or whatever it may be. So it allows people, those books, the intention was to give them an opportunity to have a deep introspection within themselves, because that is something that profoundly helped me, was to introspect and ask myself these other questions and to reinterpret my life through different meanings and symbols, as well as just having the opportunity to choose differently, to remind people that they can write about it, pour it out, and make a different choice. We may not be able to change the past, we may not be able to predict the future, but what we can do is right now, we can dive in, get to know ourselves better, and reinterpret our life how we want to imagine it.
Great. So finally, the spirit is a nebulous conviction. It is the air we create with our experiences in the emotional, biological, and in the past, nurturing influences, among other factors. What is your theory of the spirit in the realm of creating art? What type of symbolic hallway is most accessible to your spirit?
So Pat, I could talk about this question all day. So I will do my best to give it a concise response. The truth of the matter is that all of us, we're energy. Everything that connects us. There is an intangible spiritual element to life that most people are trying to gain an understanding of in some capacity. And we all have a different interpretation. Religion, spiritualism, they all have a different interpretation of it. And I truly think that we can all agree upon that in some form there is a spiritual element, and usually that's some kind of energy or aura, whatever word that you'd like to use. And what we've found is that it cannot be created nor destroyed. So it's like, where does that energy go? It just moves around. And that's why I believe in reincarnation and other things of the sort. That's why I painted about it finally, because I really think that there is a huge spiritual element to life in general. And I think that that is what houses a lot of creativity and artistic influence and inspiration. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it's like other artists and things have talked about how their ideas will get passed to another artist if they don't take them. So it's like an idea for a song has come to somebody. I think Michael Jackson and Prince had this issue. If one of them didn't create the song fast enough, the other did. And it's because the ideas, that energy, it moves around. So I could talk about that part forever, but again, with your question, I think that at the end of the day, like, emotion opens us up to a greater opportunity in life. And when we are able to tap into that spiritual element within ourselves and that emotional aspect, that fluid aspect, the unknown, the unseen, the unimaginable, I think that is where I access my own spirit. That ambiguity, that kind of unforeseen place, it gives me the ability to create something out of nothing.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.